This is AndyTube, and look at this. Hey, these are my new parts for my Singer Model 338 that I bought from Connie McCaffrey at thriftyfarmgirl.com. So I've got my new needle bar, and boy is it straight. It's in perfect condition. And I also bought the matching needle bar connecting stud. If you watched my other video, you may have heard me talk about the existing needle bar was bent, and the little pin that holds this articulating needle bar connecting stud together was cracked. And I don't know if the two are related, if the bent needle bar cracked the pin or the cracked pin caused the bent needle bar. I got a feeling the bent needle bar caused the cracked pin, but anyway, I had to make a new one and grind it and cut it. But when I discovered the needle bar bent and the crazy noises and went to buy a new needle bar from Connie, she had a connecting stud for $8. So I said I'll just buy it because I didn't want to fool around with these parts anymore. I've been delayed about a week, you know. So thank you, Connie at thriftyfarmgirl.com. I bought parts from you, and I've always been completely satisfied. And I love the way that you pack the parts when you send them to me. I'm sorry I didn't say the packing material, because you really do a very protective packing. I mean, it's not going to do me any good to you know, if a seller uses cheap packing and my new needle bar arrives bent. So great job. Thanks, Connie. So I'm anxious to get this installed into the 338 and test it to see if that's going to take care of any or hopefully all of the problems I was having. So let me rearrange this the filming setup here, and we'll install the connecting stud in the needle bar and give it a little test. Okay, I think this will give you a decent view of it here. Now, just like any other, and you know, use your safety equipment. You know, like in this, protective glasses if you're going to be using tools and chemicals and stuff. Like any other cleaned part that I put back on the machine, I kind of pre-oil it after I clean it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this Tri-Flow oil on my oiling brush, and I'll just give a little quick brush of the connecting stud inside and out, and of the needle bar. The excuse me, the tolerances are pretty close on a sewing machine, so I always like to start off with some oil on the parts. And as you may have seen, I oil everything right after I clean it too. So on this connecting, on this needle bar connecting stud, it's just going to slide right in to this hole on the arm from the needle bar stud, and just maneuver it by turning the hand wheel to get it to a place that yeah, see the tolerances are pretty tight. See if I can get it, trying not to block anybody's view there. The tolerances are pretty tight, so you got to get it lined up, but once you get it started, it just goes right in there. Okay, and then the needle bar just drops right in from the top through the swing needle mechanism and through that connecting stud and down through the needle bar bushing housing on the frame, just like that. Feels good already. So now, of course, I've got to reset the height of the needle bar. So the way we start that is we want the connecting stud in the lowest position. So I just turn the hand wheel towards me and make sure I bottom it out, wiggle it back and forth, and there I am, bottomed out. And then there's two, let's see if I can maybe get a little closer here. Sometimes when I do this it's gotten blurry, but there's two timing marks on this needle bar, and like most singers, the upper timing mark is for needle bar height and the lower timing mark is for needle to hook timing. So with this connecting stud in the lowest position, I'm going to slide my needle bar up into it until the top timing mark, that little top black band, is just about to disappear into the bottom of that bushing. I usually do it to where I can still kind of see the top timing mark as it's parallel to the bushing up there. And then I want my screw hole coming straight out from the side of the machine. And then when I've got that in position, sorry, I got to bend over behind the camera to see the timing mark. When I get that in position, I'll hold it with one hand and put a little pressure to the side on it so I can come in here and come down here and tighten up that set screw that actually holds the needle bar in place. And then once I get it tightened up, I'll turn the hand wheel again and just do a hand test on the smoothness. Let me check if I'm still bottom out, and I can still just barely see the upper timing mark below the housing. So I feel good, it's installed at the right height, and I'm just gonna back out. Back out a little bit. And I'm just going to turn. Yes, oh yes, nice and smooth. See, before with that bent one, as the needle started coming up into this bushing area, because it was bent, it would start dragging and scraping and binding and have trouble, the cam coming up over the top and starting back down. It would bind and scrape again and then get clear and go good. So down here it worked like a normal needle bar, but when I got up to about the middle of the bar going into the bushing, it was dragging and scraping. So this looks like it's very smooth and quiet. So I'm going to just let's see, these are a little dusty, so I'm going to take those off here. I'm just going to grab my foot controller here and start going slow and seeing how it works and sounds here. Yes. Yeah. That's really good. That's normal. Nice and smooth, no hesitation, no binding, no scraping. Okay, so even at about 900 RPM, no problem. That's how it's supposed to work. Okay, so a $15 needle bar fixed the problem. All right, excellent. That is excellent. Now that I've got that problem solved, I can continue on now and install some other parts, testing as I go. I did put the bobbin holder back in this week and test the thread clearance on it. It looked good, but I'll be able to put some other parts, get the covers on, and start doing some fine-tuning and testing and so forth. And if everything testing out good, then I wanted to do a video of the double needle stitching test. And I need to check the timing, you know, since I had that bell crank off of the hook and so forth. So if you're newer to my channel and just happen to search for 338 needle bar or something like that, at the end of the video I'll put a link to a couple of playlists, one for the 337 and one for this 338. And the difference between the 337 and 338 is really just that the 338 has a removable cam or pattern discs. 337 just has the built-in zigzag cam, and this one has about 30 different fashion discs that you know you can take out and put in, do blind hem and arrowheads and icicles and banners and all kinds of that pattern sewing, if you like. So finally, we'll continue with some more videos as I finish up this 338. Beautiful turquoise Singer vintage machine. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me. Take care.